Good morning. Please welcome United Way Board Chair and 2020 Campaign Co-Chair, Bob Bevel.
Good morning! Good morning! Let's hear it! On behalf of the Board of Directors of the United Way, it is great pleasure that I welcome you to the 66th Annual Campaign Kickoff. Before we get started, though, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is over here. Yep, it's over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we get started, and I'm going to promise you we're going to get you out of here at 10 o'clock this morning. Obviously, it's been a challenging year. It didn't start off that way. We were done with COVID. But then we had a little issue with Hurricane Ian. And let's take a moment of silence for those that we've lost and those that have been affected so greatly. Thank you. I'd like to say a special thanks to Florida Southwestern University and Barbara B. Mann for hosting us this morning. And who remembers when we were here in 2020? It is so great to be back here. We'd also like to thank Shift Coffee Bar and Bubbly Bee for this morning's refreshments. And a big thank you to the Sally B. Pimental Deaf and Hard of Hearing Center for signing this morning. But a huge thank you, to Alta Resources and Publix Supermarkets for their great support of our United Way. And if you all look around a little bit, I believe there are 90 team members from Publix in attendance this morning, which is truly amazing. Our United Way has a long and proud history of serving the community. It was 1957 when a handful of women and men decided Fort Myers needed an organized way to help those in need. A caring community agreed and worked together to make it happen. They formed the organization that you now know as United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades counties. Over the past 65 years, the United Way has raised and distributed over $210 million and has helped our community social service network change the lives of countless numbers of people in our community. The United Way Board of Directors was recently named one of the top 6 nonprofit boards in Southwest Florida. Would all the Board of Directors of United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades counties please rise? I have to admit there are some tremendous individuals that are on this board. It's the most impressive board that I think I've ever seen. I would like to congratulate and thank our campaign chairs from last year's campaign. Noelle Branning is actually in Tallahassee. As you know, she's the tax collector, and she's up there, fighting for us here in Lee County. And Corey Vertek. Corey's here someplace. Where's Corey? There's Corey. Say hi to Corey. They did a tremendous job of leading last year's campaign, and it raised $11.1 million. Under their leadership, this marked the 29th consecutive year that our United Way has either met or exceeded the goal. Thank you so much to Corey and to Noelle to keep that going. I am so impressed with Corey and Noelle. Your enthusiasm and passion for United Way in our community is truly contagious. Please join me in thanking them one more time. The cornerstone of our United Way is the allocation process. You all have heard me talk about it a lot, those that know me. It ensures fiscal and program accountability for the tens of thousands of people who donate to our United Way. I'm an allocation team member, actually Team 1, the best team. And I can say from firsthand experience that the allocation distribution process really works. This year, we sent out over 400 community leaders, of which there are a lot of you in here, to visit and review every one of the 260 programs supported by our United Way to make sure your money is invested in high-quality programs that are doing what they're supposed to do, changing people's lives right here in our community. Would all allocation team members that are in attendance please rise? Thank you. A lot of standing and applause, which is great, isn't it? A critical component of our successful campaigns over the years has been our leadership campaign. In fact, leadership giving now makes up more than half of our entire campaign, 61%. The leadership giving program here at our United Way has two components, the Keel Club and the Alexis de Tocqueville Society. The Keel Club recognizes individuals and couples who demonstrate a deep commitment to our community and who truly believe in the power of working together through United Way. Membership in this leadership society is reserved for those who contribute $1,000 or more annually to our United Way. I'd now like to recognize this year's leadership giving chair, my good friend, Tom Euler. He's right down here. Tom, thank you for all you do. I'm impressed all the time. Last year's membership was 873 and raised over $1.5 million. Based on Pacesetter Results that will soon unveil, back over here at my left shoulder, I'm sure that Keel Club membership will show a dramatic increase this year. Could all Keel Club members, remember $1,000 or more, could all Keel Club members this morning stand and be recognized? Wow. 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 Look at that. Thank you so much. Our Alexis de Tocqueville Society was founded in 1991 by David Lucas. How many of y'all know David Lucas and how he's so dedicated? Membership in the society is reserved for individuals and couples who contribute a personal gift of $10,000 or more to our United Way. When David founded the Alexis de Tocqueville Society 21 years ago, it transformed the way people give to our United Way and really transformed philanthropy throughout Southwest Florida. In 1990, the year before David founded the Alexis de Tocqueville Society, the largest gift to our United Way was $5,000. A lot of money back then, but still, it has all changed. There were 6 givers who gave $1,000 or more. David is still the chair, and in this last year's campaign, the Alexis de Tocqueville Society added 32 members, bringing the total membership to 217, and raising the incredible amount raised by de Tocqueville members to $5.19 million. And that represented 46.8% of our campaign last year. This places our United Way among the top in the nation for percentage of de Tocqueville members. I wish David was here, but I'm sure a lot of you know him, and let's give him a big cheer, and maybe he'll even hear it. David is certainly one of the heroes in our community and a true servant leader. David has been working very hard again this year, and already in this campaign, David, with the help of Corey, and a dedicated committee have already recruited 110 Alexis de Tocqueville Society members, including 12 new members, and have already raised over $3.4 million. They have a ways to go, but they're on pace to have an incredible year. And that helps us kick off this year's campaign. Great job, David, and thank you so much for all you do for United Way and our community. Would all the Alexis de Tocqueville Society members that are in attendance please stand? Thank you all. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. United Way's mission is to improve the quality of life for all people in our community. That is our mission during blue skies, which we had earlier this year, and gray skies, which we just experienced. The impact of Hurricane Ian on our community was catastrophic. The need became urgent, and the Southwest Florida Emergency Relief Fund, established in 2004 after Hurricane Charlie, was activated once again. This is a strong partnership with the Collaboratory and United Way to help the people of our community during these times of disasters. While we knew that our community was going to need immediate and long-term response, relief, and recovery, we knew that there was not only one network of partners ready to respond, but also a national network ready to respond. I'd like to bring out somebody that has just been incredible over the last, even prior to the Hurricane Ian, has been incredible. The president of our local United Way, Janine Joy. I love you. You could hear that, couldn't you?
Thank you, Bob. So we were at an emergency operations center. The safety of our staff is first and foremost. So, when the storm was approaching, 4 o'clock on Tuesday, we said we're locking down. So there were 9 of us. And because of the length of the storm, you all know this story, right? We didn't get to leave until 44 hours later. And we took calls. And during the downtimes, I was checking my email. And I will tell you that I started seeing emails from across the country, from other United Ways, from Long Island, from Louisiana, wishing us well, and also pledging their support. First email I got was for $10,000. And I knew at that moment that even though our community was going to be devastated, that we had support. We had support from everywhere, not just locally, but everywhere. And so our friends from United Way of Southeast Louisiana put together a short video for us, and they worked with their local affiliates. And I wanted to take this opportunity as well to thank NBC and ABC and all of the different stations out there, but especially to Waterman Broadcasting, because we had PSAs, we had coverage, and we want to thank you for that. And United Way of Southeast Louisiana actually worked with their NBC affiliate.
Yes, they did.
To do this video we're going to show.
We're going to hold off 1 second, though, okay? Going off script.
Oh.
You told me not to do that. She's very impressive, and I want you to know, and you can see just, in that 2 or 3 minutes that she spoke, Janine Joy was named as one of the top 30 nonprofit leaders in Southwest Florida.
Thank you. It's not me. It is my team. You all hear about my team later. My team is fantastic. My volunteers are fantastic.
Leader, and you are that.
Thanks for going off script, Bob.
Go ahead.
Here in Southeast Louisiana, we know all too well the heartache and devastation left in the wake of a disaster.
And that's why WDSU and the United Way of Southeast Louisiana joined forces to help the people of Florida after Ian destroyed homes, businesses, and lives. Just days after Ian wreaked havoc, we were on the air asking everyone to help our neighbors.
And from the moment we went live, hundreds of generous individuals called in to pledge their support, many motivated to give simply because they remember when United Way was there for them after our storms.
And in just a few hours, we raised more than $40,000. And that's all thanks to callers, station employee contributions, and a corporate match. All of that money went to the United Way to help the people in Lee, Hendry, and Glades counties, to help them rebuild their homes and their lives.
The challenges you face along the path to recovery will be complex, countless, and tiresome, but we know your United Way is well positioned to lead the call for help. It's simply what you do. You help people. And don't forget, Southeast Louisiana is right there alongside you, cheering you on. And remember, we have one life to live. To live better, we must live united.
That's just one example, but we certainly want to thank the residents of Southeast Louisiana for all they've done for United Way and other communities, and other United Way communities have actually supported us as well, that you can talk about a little bit.
Absolutely. We've seen them come from everywhere. And just, it's so nice to know that there's a whole network behind us.
It takes a village.
It truly does.
Yes.
But this didn't quite cover everything, right, Bob?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
There's more.
There is more. Hurricane Ian was devastating for our community. we'd like to show another short video that's just going to kind of give you an idea of what our response has been so far.
United Way 211 Storm Information Hotline. How may I help you?
May I have your address?
You're located in Evacuation Zone A.
You have a mandatory evacuation in place.
The closest shelter for you is Island Coast High School.
This is Gulf Coast Life. I'm Mike Canary. Thanks for joining us. It's now been 2 days since Hurricane Ian swept through southwest Florida, causing massive and widespread devastation. Search and rescue efforts are still underway in many areas, especially out on Sanibel Island, which has been cut off from the mainland entirely. Today we're going to talk about some of the ways people can help, especially through financial donations. For starters, we're joined on the phone by Sarah Owen. She's CEO of the Collaboratory in downtown Fort Myers. They're working with the United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades counties to collect donations through the Southwest Florida Emergency Relief Fund. Sarah, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking some time to talk with me today. Give us the basics on this relief fund and how people can get involved.
Well, we see anytime Southwest Florida experiences a disaster, people are ready to step in financially or volunteer-wise to help. So we're always preparing before hurricane season to get a fund set up and hope that we never have to use it. We've got a long partnership going back to Hurricane Charlie with the United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades, and we work together. If you donate to this fund, 100% of it stays right here in Southwest Florida, and it goes right to the front line. So we see our role at Collaboratory, and I know the other community foundations do too, is bringing in those dollars both locally and from all around the world, so that we can get them right out to our partner organizations and agencies. And for us, that's what United Way does. They've got their eyes and ears. They know where that money needs to go immediately for help. And so we partner with them to get that money right to the front lines. We think that's so important. We don't want people to wait for the help.
$25,000 calls before the end of October. And it wasn't just our United Way 211 staff. There was people in this room. We needed volunteers to handle all of those calls. And the calls at first, where's my evacuation zone? Like you heard at the beginning of the video. And then it changed, and water was coming in. And we were literally on the phone with people as water was washing away some of our citizens. Then it changed to search and rescue. And during this all, my friend, Sarah Owen, and I were texting, we're gonna need the funds. She was ready. Where are my friends from Collaboratory? I know they're here. Right there, okay, you guys. This storm was so powerful, nobody can do any of this alone. We had to have that partnership. And so far, the fund has raised over $5 million. And so far, we've gotten $1.8 million out in direct assistance to agencies, gift cards, families in need. We've gotten over $2.5 million worth of tangible goods out into our community already. And there's more. We've had flooring come in, drywall, furniture, rooms to go. You saw on their mattresses. We gave away hundreds of mattresses to the school children in our community. And there's more. Right after the storm, I talked to the United Way in Long Island. They experienced Superstorm Sandy. And their CEO shared with me that they had just finished their last home 10 years later. There's a lot of hard work that needs to be done in our community, and we are all up for it together. Over 15,000 volunteer hours have been tracked by United Way so far, and that's probably just scratching the surface. So many of you came forward even after your own homes were destroyed. We're all bruised and battered. This is going to be hard to get through. And I keep reminding my amazing staff, who has just been so dedicated through all of this, that they cannot do it alone. And everybody says category 4. Can we all just agree it was a category 5? I mean, come on, right? It was a catastrophic storm, unlike anything we'd ever seen. And so I tell my staff, it's one person at a time. It's one family at a time. It's one community at a time. And step by step, day by day, week by week, our community will recover. Going back to those calls on the storm hotline, they started to change. We started to get calls about domestic violence. We even got a call about rape. And it was in that very moment that we all said, the problems that were here before do not go away just because a hurricane came through. And that's why the regular United Way campaign is so important. We still need to deal with all of those problems. So they have to coexist. We have to move on. I remember after Hurricane Irma, we were all in a mode to help everyone. And Cliff, I know he's here, my predecessor, said to me, Janine, it's time to switch. You got to flip the switch. You have to start raising money for the regular campaign. And that's what we had to tell our team. The person who is going to be diagnosed with breast cancer next month is still going to be diagnosed with breast cancer, even though Hurricane Ian came through. We're not on pause. And so you being here this morning gives me hope that we're going to reach that $11 million goal and continue to do what we're doing and also help everybody recover from Hurricane Ian. Some of the hardest work we'll ever do. And our campaign chairs, oh my gosh, who would have thought we had to change our theme because we need to be united more than ever. And I want to share one thing before I bring out our campaign chairs. We had someone write a note for us that we had helped. And the last couple lines say, "Thank you for any help you can give me. You're a gift from God. My husband said I smiled the other day for the first time in a long while. And that's because of you. And we're going to continue to do that. We are going to smile again. We're going to smile more. We are going to continue to give hope to people who some still feel very hopeless. And the people who are going to do that are our campaign chairs. They're going to lead everyone here to continue to give generously and to make our community whole again. I can't think of any two people who couldn't be united more than ever than our campaign co-chairs, Sally Jackson and Matt Humphreys.
Thank you, Janine.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Partner.
Partners indeed.
Matt and I are so thrilled and proud to be representing the United Way Board, leading this year's campaign cabinet. And I want to ask all of our members of that cabinet to now stand and be recognized. Please stand, members of the cabinet. You are fabulous. Our cabinet represents all phases of our economy, business sectors, industry, government, all of the agencies that are so much a part of the network in our community, and individual residential communities as well. We have a very generous community, and our leaders reach out to all of them and keep them engaged as a part of our cabinet. You've already heard from Janine and Bob the wonderful work of United Way staff, volunteers, and 211. And today, we are going to share with you even more examples of the power of the network that our agencies create through collaboration. For many, many years, the United Way, through the allocations process, has asked every agency to share how they collaborate. And going back more than a decade ago, sometimes there were one or two examples of collaboration, and now, more recently, we get long lists of agencies that are collaborating together. And I believe this question has prompted agencies to think about how they do their work differently to meet the needs in the community through collaboration. And Hurricane Ian certainly intensified the need for collaboration. And the agencies did respond. For example, Blessings in a Backpack, which normally provides foods to school children on the weekends in partnership with our schools, had to partner with Community Cooperative, Children's Advocacy Center, Cafe of Life, and many others in order to distribute over 10,000 meals to 10,000 children over the 2 weeks that school was closed. And they couldn't have done it without collaboration. Because the partner agencies that were identified have locations with very strong volunteer outreach in the neighborhoods with the greatest needs, Blessings in a Backpack was able to reach these children, and they otherwise would not have had the opportunity to see that they didn't go hungry. In fact, their executive director said, if it weren't for my United Way partners, I wouldn't have been able to feed 10,000 children. Through collaborating, we can have a much greater impact in our community. A great example. And sometimes that collaboration occurs on behalf of just one single client with a very great need. And Matt's going to share another story.
So one of our newest agencies, Premier Mobile Health Services, partners with Goodwill to serve clients in the Pine Manor United Way House twice a month. Let me get through. During one visit, a regular volunteer at the United Way House shared with Deanie Singh, the Premier Executive Director and a registered nurse practitioner, that he was feeling terrible. He described some concerning symptoms and explained that he had been going through a very difficult time personally. Deanie ran several tests and learned not only had he had serious infection, but also suffered from diabetes, hypertension, and depression, none of which had been diagnosed previously. She prescribed medications and scheduled to follow up with him routinely. Deanie then partnered with Salis Care to arrange a mental health consult. It's been 2 months since Deanie first met with this gentleman, and he hugs her every time he sees her and tells her he feels amazing and is thankful to be alive. He credits caregivers from Premier Mobile Health Services and Salis Care with restoring his hope and health.
And then there's Healthy Start, which provides services to infants and preschool kids. And they reached out through United Way to offer partner agencies diapers and formula, and in one single day, they delivered total loads of baby supplies to Gladiolus Food Pantry and United Way houses in Bonita Springs Assistance Office, Children's Advocacy Center in East Fort Myers, Healing Stitches in North Fort Myers, and Lehigh Community Services. So in one day, they reached all corners of Lee County through our partner locations.
Sunrise Community of Southwest Florida has residential facilities and adult day program in Cape Coral, through which they serve people with intellectual and developmental needs. While the site of the day program was severely damaged, the residents fared fairly well. However, one group of homes lost fruit trees and hydroponic vegetable garden that supplied fresh produce for residents. Sunrise was connected with Midwest Food Bank, who set up a distribution program to replenish fresh produce and meet their other food needs.
And all of us have heard of the need for additional mental health services. And when there were requests for mental health counseling at some of our shelters, community gathering spots on the islands, municipal and social service offices throughout our area that were dealing face-to-face with the clients, Heather Cross of the Center for Progress and Excellence didn't hesitate to send their mobile crisis unit out to help, location by location on rotation.
When a call came in from an optician from Kentucky wanting to come down and serve, United Way connected with their partner agency, Florida Lions Eye Clinic. Together, they put a community event to provide free eye screening services and distribute free reading glasses. Consequently, when United Way received a request from a special needs shelter for reading glasses for elderly residents, the new team of local partner agency and out-of-town donor quickly arranged to visit the shelter, where they gave away more than 100 pair of reading glasses to grateful hurricane survivors.
And then there's Healing Stitches, which delivers immigrant and Latino services. And they worked with Partners for Breast Cancer, We Care, and Lee Health to bring free and potentially life-saving breast cancer screening services to clients of the North Fort Myers United Way House. Of the 15 women who received exams and mammogram referrals, several received additional screenings and a few received follow-up biopsies, all free to the patients. One woman who had a biopsy was elated to share back with Healing Stitch's executive director that her biopsy came back negative this week. Some good news.
That's fantastic.
Thank goodness.
Harry Chapman has been partnering with Fish of Sanibel to distribute food on Sanibel, one of the hardest hit areas.
And when Pine Island Daycare was damaged, the Beacon of Hope reached out to United Way, and with relief funds to expedite the cleanup, the daycare was able to reopen quickly and provide 33 children a very safe place to go while parents stabilized homes and returned to work.
9 agencies strategically located around the county each agreed to receive a pod on their property that United Way Gifts in Kind program will replenish weekly with new furniture to be distributed to the people in need. By graciously taking on this additional responsibility, these agencies will make it possible for many more people to efficiently receive the items they need. These 9 partners are Jewish Federation of Lee and Charlotte with a location in South Fort Myers, Catholic Charities in the Dunbar-Tice area, Cape Coral Carry Program, Fish of Sanibel, Beacon of Hope on Pine Island, Mound House on Fort Myers Beach, Bonita Springs Assistance Office, Suncoast Community Center in North Fort Myers, and Ava's Closet in San Carlos Park, Estero area. These pods will be placed in the next couple weeks.
So I think you've seen the power of the network, and we all understand that there are many agency stories that go beyond response, relief, and recovery. Our United Way agencies, as Janine mentioned earlier, provide these core services in gray skies and blue skies, and they've continued to serve our community. One that I'm very familiar with that I want to share a little story with you about today is the We Care program. Now, We Care was created by the statutes of Florida, the state of Florida, and last year that program, as it runs today, provided almost $7 million in free medical care to uninsured patients who might not have been able to get treatments for their serious conditions. This includes cancer treatments, surgeries, heart disease treatments, very serious conditions. About 10 years ago, the program in our community had literally languished due to a lack of administrative support. Because it's covered by Florida law, there is some administrative process that has to be followed, and there just wasn't anybody to do it. And United Way became aware of the challenge and worked with key leaders in the community, physicians in particular, to begin rebuilding that program. Today we have over 300 medical providers signed up, and we are one of the largest purely volunteer, free of charge medical clinic services in the entire country. We're very proud of that work, and last year, 256 patients received life-saving care. And when we think about what happened during this hurricane, the staff at United Way made calls to all of their current clients to make sure they were safe, to make sure they had their personal needs met in time of crisis, and then got right on with the business of getting those follow-up treatments scheduled. And in fact, in the month of October, $1.4 million of free care, donated care, serious procedures were given under the We Care program. Only little under $7 million all last year. So what a way for the community to come together and save lives.
The core campaign of the foundation is our agencies to help operate every day. One agency that's had a tremendous impact on the community is Family Initiative. David, are you here? David Angeli? Thank you so much for what you guys do for the community. Autism spectrum disorder affects 1 in every 44 kids, according to the CDC. That's incredible. Established in 2015 and later brought on as a United Way partner agency in 2020, Family Initiative opened up its first, Southwest Florida's very first facility dedicated to championing individuals with autism and their families. Prior to 2015, parents struggled to find an establishment where the children with autism can play and socialize with other children. FI created an environment where children were not judged, but gave them an opportunity to fit in and make friends and be themselves. About 75% of autistic adults are unemployed. FI is helping lower that rate by creating social skill programs, teaching them the skills necessary to communicate while having fun doing so. Clinical services are available for families, giving them individualized plans specifically crafted to help their child and their families bond and grow. Each child is special, each family is unique. Family Initiative is redefining autism. And that's why this campaign is so important. All money raised stays right here in our community, helping our neighbor, helping those who need it, helping their quality of life. Our United Way is a community collaborator, bringing people together and organizations create powerful partnerships that address issues and solve problems. When you invest in United Way, you do more than you could do alone. Your contribution is combined with thousands of others to magnify and multiply the power of your gift. Our community needs us now more than ever.
And indeed, we are united more than ever. And we're connecting those who need help with those who can help. Our agencies do count on us to raise the dollars they need to continue their core services. And our entire community relies on these services. Each of us never knows when we, members of our own families, our neighbors, our friends, will need that support. And that has been made abundantly clear over the last months. Collectively, we as a community have risen to the occasion. Our community is absolutely amazing in its resilience and its fortitude. And the same is true for our agencies. Many have had hurricane damages to deal with, and even more have postponed major fundraising activities due to the impact of the hurricane on the community and their funders. Yet they still are fulfilling the needs of their clients. They count on United Way to provide our part of that funding, and we're committed to meet that need. So thank you all for giving to the United Way in the past and this year. And for those of you who donated a mere $240 last year, you have been placed in a drawing for recognition that Matt's going to tell you about.
It's time to give away a car. John Scanlon was kind enough to put a bow on it, so just like that commercial when you see the loved one or a spouse come out and thinking they want a car for Christmas, no, that's going to be for yourselves. Would you please welcome former past campaign chairs John Klinger and Beth Hendry to the stage to give away the car.
Good morning, everybody. Man, they made a mistake to give Beth and I a mic that we can walk around and no real scripts. So, good morning. It's great to see you all here this morning. Thanks so much for coming and joining us.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Beth. Here, you want this one? Try that one.
Good morning. There we go.
That was a bevel trip. He said he was going to sabotage us.
Doesn't work. Oh, is this one working? Okay, there we go. All right. Wow, hard to believe. John, I think it's been 5 years since we were up on this stage last time. As I recall, we were post-Hurricane Irma instead of Ian, and we were seeking our first $10 million campaign. Look at us now, exceeding 11. We were concerned then about how this campaign would go for $10 million, but this community sure rose to the occasion.
You know, Beth, I do remember that time. I can remember how nervous we were about raising the first $10 million campaign. Well, first of all, can we do away with the hurricanes? Right? But coming right off the heels of Irma, you and I were in the first time we broke into $10 million. But, you know, as we reflect, Beth and I were talking about it this week, as we reflect back, we just continue to realize how incredible Southwest Florida is, how resilient you are, how giving and generous you are. So, as you all know, because I think it's been 29 years in a row we've met goal, we stepped up to the plate in an extraordinarily difficult time, and we answered the bell. So thank you again for the community for doing that.
Yes, and we know the community's up to the challenge again, and we're united more than ever, as the new slogan says. But now we want to do something really fun.
Yeah, we get to do something really cool. So we get to give away a 2-year lease on this awesome, cool car. So this was an incentive for last year's campaign, like Sally mentioned. So if you contributed I'm stealing your thunder. I'll stop right there. So if you contributed into the campaign last year, you were entered in. This incentive has been given by the Scanlon Auto Group. And get this, the Scanlon Auto Group has brought a car to our campaign for the last 21 years, right? Could the Scanlon Auto Group please come on stage and help us give away this beautiful Lexus NX? Let's give them another huge round of applause.
I'm supposed to give you that. Maybe it'll work for you.
Good morning, everybody. Right. I'm so excited to be here to help give away this new car and represent Scanlon Auto Group, which is Scanlon Lexus and Scanlon Acura. Last year, the NX was so new we didn't even have it on display because it wasn't out yet. So I wanted to take a second and show you the vehicle. Before you, this is a beautiful 2023 Lexus NX with a big red bow, and it is about to deck the halls or deck the garage for one of you 5 lucky people. This beautiful NX is powered by a 203 turbocharged engine, 8-speed automatic, and it boasts 26 miles per gallon to 33 miles per gallon on the highway. This is a brand new all-cabin design. It takes a big leap forward with this generation NX with a modern look, classy materials, alluring lines, and so much more. This actually leads the segment for subcompact luxury for size. Lexus NX offers a host of standard safety features, including the new Lexus Safety System Plus 3.0. But I won't go into too many details on that. I wanted to talk about what's on the horizon for next year. Some of you may have noticed on the way in the 2023 Integra outside of the entrance. The Integra returns to Acura as one of the brand's most iconic nameplates. Some of you may have had and loved the original Integra. Anybody? Yeah? A couple of you? I have to tell you, the new Integra is so much more. It has class-leading technology, styling, a precision Acura cockpit, and I gotta tell you, they have a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster right in front of you that I promise will make you smile, maybe even giggle every time you start it up. Oh yeah, it's that good. And in a
yeah, right.
In a segment exclusive, the liftback style gives you an aggressive coupe roofline plus an amazing amount of room for all the things you may have wanted back then but couldn't afford till now. Lastly, it has advanced technology with a very powerful 200 horsepower turbo engine, and it's even available with a manual 6-speed transmission. But you're going to enjoy 30 to 37 miles per gallon while looking this good at the pump. Well, I think I've kept you in suspense long enough. Let's give away this car.
You got it.
Thank you, Sean. I think I know what I want for Christmas. Beautiful. Okay, so as was mentioned earlier, how it works is if you donated $240 in your annual contribution, you were put into a lottery and generated a number, and we have 5 lucky finalists that were picked by random number. We'd like our finalists to now join us on the stage, please, and get their numbers.
Okay, we have a little curveball. You may have, those that are quick in the room and good with math may have noticed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we were informed just a little while ago that Anthony Luporetto from the city of Fort Myers may not be able to make it. So we're looking for a volunteer. I'm going to walk over to this side of the stage. And I saw a pretty good possible volunteer from the city of Fort Myers to stand in for Anthony. So Mr. City Manager, Marty Lamwick, would you like to come up and stand in for Anthony, please? I have not talked to him, so I'm totally throwing him a curveball. Appreciate it. Our city manager for City of Fort Myers. Okay, so while we're waiting for Marty to come on stage, here is your moment of fame, guys, okay? So when I call out your name, you have to do something really, really cool. This is like your moment. You can do front rolls, somersaults. I don't know. I mean, you could actually try and do the whole commercial thing again where you bend down and push the button and smile. But let everybody know who you are. So we're going to start off with Cantrell Campbell from Publix Supermarkets. Whoa, yeah! Woo! All right, Marty, here's where you got to play the part of Anthony. Anthony Lopardi, played by City Manager. Yeah! All right, we'll have to work on that for next year. Okay, we've got next Ted Myers from Publix Supermarkets. We have Michael Novo from B&I. And last but certainly not least, Karen Ramos from City of Cape Coral. Woo! Nice. Nicely done, everybody.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Finalists, a number in one of your envelopes will match the number that's going to open in the hood of that Lexus, that beautiful Lexus right there. So please open your envelopes and show us your numbers at this time. All right. Okay. All right, are we ready? All right, audience, we're going to need your assistance. We're going to count to 3, and on the count of 3, the trunk's going to open, and we're going to see who the lucky winner is. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations, Anthony! Anthony, would you like to say a few words?
I'm sure Anthony will be happy. I guess the supervisor wouldn't let him free him up to come today, but I'm glad to fill in for him. Thank you.
There's a lot of work going on in the city these days, right? That's right. Good. Well, congratulations to all of you. Thanks so much for Anthony, and thank you again to the Scanlon Auto Group. Another big round of applause for Scanlon Auto.
Woo! All right. Y'all want to...
And now let's hear about what we're all here to find out about. Let's hear about our Pacesetters campaign.
Hi, everyone. I'm Noelle Branning, your Lee County tax collector.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Carnes, Lee County Clerk of Court and Comptroller, and Noelle and I are thrilled to be this year's Pacesetter campaign co-chairs.
We're really sorry we can't be there in person today, but I have to tell you, Kevin, I love this year's theme, United More Than Ever. We want to thank all the companies who have run their campaigns to kick off the fundraising goal when we need the help more than ever. With what we've seen in the last 3 months, our community truly is united more than ever.
Noelle, I couldn't agree with you more. I found this community united more than ever when I worked the 211 phone lines right after Hurricane Ian. And it made me grateful to be part of such a great organization. I've worked with the United Way for well over 5 years, and I've seen firsthand the impact this great group of individuals has on our local communities. In addition to that, I've been part of the fund distribution process, and that has allowed me to meet so many of our local leaders for the United Way partner agencies. It's clear to me that without their commitment and our commitment, that these agencies wouldn't be able to do what they do on a day-to-day basis. Many of my coworkers and friends have shared their stories of how they've been personally impacted in positive ways more than ever by the United Way. And I've seen firsthand that we are united more than ever.
Yes, Kevin. You know, Southwest Florida is my home, and this home doesn't feel quite the same right now. But because of the strength of this community and the partner agencies of United Way that provide services. This is a community I have chosen to raise my family in, and I want to leave an impact that will create a better tomorrow for my children. And we can only do this when we are united more than ever.
Absolutely, Noel. Because despite the many challenges we all face personally and professionally, we have over 100 local companies that have committed to being a Pacesetter company in an effort to meet this year's United Way campaign. This is an amazing result, and in these challenging times, we can't thank you enough for this commitment. The clerk's office is a longtime Pacesetter company. My team and I are honored to serve our community, not only in our day-to-day lives as professionals, but also through the support organizations funded by the United Way. We are honored to be united more than ever and look forward to helping all of us meet this year's campaign goal in a very big way.
The Lee County Tax Collector's Office is also a proud Pacesetter company. Our focus on giving is at the core of who we are, an organization that values our community. We know how important the United Way services are to family, friends, and coworkers, which is why we continue to support the United Way. So, Kevin, how did our Pacesetters unite more than ever?
That's a great question, Noel. Let's roll the video.
always love that video, building and building and building to Publix.
Hey, shout out to the Publix people. $1.1 million for the community.
It's amazing, amazing. We ended our Pacesetter campaign this year with 155 companies. It's amazing that they were able to complete their campaigns in spite of the hurricane. So we're so grateful that so many of you were able to get them done. And the rest of you who haven't completed yours, you've got the whole beginning of next quarter to do so.
Of those Pacesetter companies, 553 were Keel Club members, 60 Alexis the Tocqueville Society members. What an incredible number. All right, now the moment we've been waiting for. Let's unveil that thermometer. All right, I need your help on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. There it is. 6,007,182. Give yourselves a big hand.
And that positions us at 53.7% of our goal of $11.2 million. More than halfway there.
Remember, we're connecting those who can help with those who need help. So we are united more than ever.
And we thank each and every one of you for being a part of the campaign and for joining us here this morning to celebrate our kickoff. Now go out and spread the word.
But one more thing. I've always wanted to do this. I've always seen at the concerts where they do that selfie, so I've always wanted to do that. Okay, you ready? Sally, bring it in. So let's give a big hands up on 3. Say united more than ever. 1, 2, 3. Nailed it. I just want to say a quick shout out to my son. I know he's here. It's his 10th birthday today, so incredible. And then thank you to Mr. Bob Bevel. Congratulations on your retirement next month from Waterman Broadcasting. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you coming out. Thank you.